and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I'm going to frame my Advents. I have had a look, like just when I've pulled up the frame, and I think I am going to lose some of the border. I'm just kind of hoping that I don't lose too much of the border when I frame this. But this is a 40 by 40 frame with a mount that makes it a true 30 by 30, I think, in the middle. So I won't be using the mount for this. But this used to be in my craft room. I used to have a set of 3 of these that were displayed in my craft room until it got taken over with shelves. So first things first, I'm going to cut around the edge of my Advent painting. Feels weird to be doing this as sort of a final hurrah to the painting. I actually don't need to worry about how close I get to the edge because it is going in the frame. But I will pop pictures up at the end of what I did with my mum with her Advent. So what we did was we got a piece of mount board. I think it was A2 in size. And mount board is really dense cardboard. It's not like got the corrugated middle. It is in fact what's used. So it's mount board. It's like this mount for this photo. It's that material, but without, of course, the hole in the middle. We spray mounted it and stuck the Advent canvas to it. And then we cut around each individual one. So we did cut off this one row all the way around the outside. And then we cut out each individual one. So it had one row of grey around each square. And that was the hardest part, cutting that mount board. If you can find somewhere or some trimmer that will cut your mount board to the right size so that you actually cut your individual squares out before you stick them on, that would be a whole lot easier. But anyway, we did it the hard way because we didn't have a trimmer that would cut through the mount board. So we did it with a craft knife and we cut around each individual square. We then removed a diamond. Now my mum did the square version, but we removed a diamond in the middle, and I think it was the 3rd diamond down, or maybe the 4th diamond down if you included the grey. And we took that diamond off the painting, which we then used the craft knife to poke a hole through the canvas and through the mount board to be able to thread a piece of ribbon on. They were all, before we put the ribbon on, they were all sealed with PVA glue, or Elmer's glue, some countries call it. So yeah, we went round all of the PVA with them all with PVA glue to seal them in. I'm not sealing this one because it's going behind glass, so I don't need to. Just trying to find a pair of tweezers, because if these won't move up, I find a pair of tweezers helps my fingers. So I do try, and if it's about to move, or will move with a slight push, I do it with my hand. But if it gets stubborn, then rather than breaking my nails, I go in with it with a set of tweezers, which doesn't always work, but we try. Yeah, so once we'd sealed it all with PVA glue, then the piece of ribbon was popped through. And then it went up on my mum's tree. So a few years ago, my mum actually got rid of all of her Christmas decorations. She found, just because it was her and my dad, they weren't really, you know, they always spent Christmas at my brother's or at my sister's. so they just didn't bother. However, they did decide the other year, I think they got a pre-lit tree from Aldi, and they decided to just have a pre-lit tree, and they didn't want to go buying decorations again. So my mum has now made her own decorations. So I'm going to pop all this back in. I'm actually going to pop that diamond painting back in as well. Hopefully I'll get away with the double layers. That's just the sheet of paper that was in it anyway. And then let's get that past. This is the only thing when you try and get it past these. It's like, have I pushed them up enough? There we go. That didn't work. Let's try that with, I'm just putting down a couple at the moment. I just want to see what it looks like before I do the rest. So here we go. Oh, I do get to see one border pretty much. Okay, I can cope with that. So I still get to see one border of the grey. I just don't get to see both. But I am glad that I get to see one, because if you don't, it doesn't make the rest look as good. Now I'm trying to fold these over, and of course when I'm folding these over I do have more behind here than I did before, so it's having to bend at a new place to trap everything in. It's having to bend at a different place, so it's just taking a little bit more oomph to get it to do it. At least I'm using a set of tweezers that I have loads of, because I think I've flicked off some of the paint off that. But that looks so good. That is my Advent framed, and I've just had a closer look. Luckily I got no bits in between the glass. The only thing I haven't actually done is decided what I'm going to do to frame each piece. And that's probably bad planning on my part. Oh, I've just knocked my camera, because I do actually have a pile of die cut things. That says get lost. Don't think that'll work. This is a pack of die cut bits from when I did scrapbooking. That might work though. I could have an arrow that points to the day. So it could point to the first. And then, where's the second? I can't even find the second anymore. There we go. I could get it to point to what day it is. That's subtle, but it's not in your face. What I was originally thinking was something like a frame, but in chipboard, that I did around the outside. Somebody on the group did a really good one. They actually made it themselves with a blank canvas, but I actually don't have my blank canvas of, that's not big enough. I don't have my blank canvas, my blank round canvas anymore. I only have square, and that's not going to work the same. I haven't been in this box of goodies for ages. This is a mixture of stickers and bits of chipboard. I say this is from when I was scrapbooking. I've just spotted. Imperfection is beauty. Oh, I could do something like that with a Merry Christmas that goes near each day, because that's chipboard as well, but I don't have a lot of chipboard. I might have to go and go round my sister-in-law's and say, oi, what chipboard have you got? I'm sure she'll have a chipboard frame. That's what I was thinking of initially, is a chipboard frame, but all of this is stickers and die cuts mainly. Some cute die cuts though. Just trying to see if I could find something that would sort of highlight maybe just the number. So if that had a circle in the middle, it could highlight the number rather than the whole thing. And I like this arrow, but I think it actually nestles in possibly just a little bit too much, like you can't really see it. My brain keeps thinking, is there anything else that I have stashed about from scrapbooking? I've got another die cuts tub, but I don't think it has. Oh, maybe it does have something in it. Let me see if I can reach this down. Excuse me while I stick my arm in the way. Oh, it has labels. And I think they are all full-on labels. That might work though. I prefer a circle. Okay, where is my craft scissors? So this was my labels die cut tub. And this one is probably more pink, and I wouldn't mind. I have just this morning passed on my circle punches to my sister-in-law. What sort of timing is that? Because I was sorting out my craft space, I had some really nice punches that I decided to pass on to my sister-in-law because I haven't touched them in ages. I haven't touched my circle punches, so I've decided to pass them on to her. She has most of them already, but she is keeping them as a spare. She did say I could nip and borrow them anytime I like, so I can use them anytime I like. But that does not help when I am here and impatient. And I could cry cut a shape and probably cut that out, which I could do from home. Though I don't have any coloured card either because I gave all that to her as well. But let's just try this for size. It's not the best job at cutting out, but that is the right sort of size. That is a perfect size. Where's the biggest number? So 25 is probably a big number. And that highlights it enough to say what day it is. Ooh. Okay, I think I have found something that works. While on camera, while chatting, I'm just checking that, so that's a peachy coloured one, that's bigger anyway. That size has ended up being perfect. I do have quite a few other sort of different sizes. These are labels. I actually cut these out by hand anyway. These labels. That's another circle one if I wanted something that was a little bit more intricate. But I actually think that takes away from the designs themselves. So yeah, I think the circle one works the best. I think I've found something that works. So let's pop my arrow away. Let me just neaten up a couple of these snippy snips that I've made. And this is actually more of a dark pink than a red. But I think that works really well. And the actual die cut itself isn't that neatly cut. There we go. That is what I'm going to use to highlight each day. It will it tuck? It will tuck under that top part, which is perfect for when it does hit the number 1, etc. I can still get it to fit perfectly. Also, and I'm just leaning on the glass ever so slightly, I'm not doing it hugely. that would be the number 19. I think all the rest of the numbers are clear. These top numbers would need tucking in, or I could make it stick to the top frame instead and make it stick there when it's on the wall, so that I can still see it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop just a little bit of blue tack or sticky tack underneath that so that it can move about from day to day. And I say just a little press on the glass just to get those metal prongs just to move a smidge to let that piece of paper go underneath. And I could also seal that or put on like a clear glossy accents it's called. That would give the whole thing a shine. That does mean that if I did that, I would have to stick it on the outer side of the frame for these top numbers rather than tucking it underneath, because it will definitely make it thicker, but it would give that a nice finish. But I like the way that highlights it. It doesn't take too much away from the images and the picture. So that was a happy mistake that I hadn't already thought that one through. But my Advent is finally framed, ready for use next year. That's for sure. And yeah, I'm really happy that it is done and not pulled out 2 minutes before December the 1st. So I am now ready to go with Advent. All it needs is a little couple of bits of blue tack, white tack, just to move it around the glass. But yeah, my Advent is ready for next year. Do be assured we have got more Advents on order. So if you are also wanting one for yourself so that you can do it for next year, we do have more on order. So if you go to addmorezest.com, which is linked in the description and it's written in that bottom corner, there is at the moment it's up as a wait list, and you can pop your email address in to be notified when the Advent calendar comes back in stock. So we do have a set amount coming in. If we find that they sell really quick, then we may do another reprint as well. So don't think it's one time only chance. It will just depend on demand how soon we keep doing them. We do also have some Zesty Wolf on order as well, because they've both proved very popular and they are exclusive to us. So we wanted to give you guys a chance of getting your own. But yeah, 40 by 40 frame. This one is from the range and it's in white. They do also, I'm pretty sure they do also do it in a black if you want that standoff, but I quite like the fact that it's the Advent that's shining. So I am going to stick with this 40 by 40 that I already had. And this circle, just in case anybody does want to get fancy and cut it with a cry cut, the diameter is, it's 4 centimetres across, 3 centimetres on the inside. So there you go, that was easy maths. So you want a circle that is 5 centimetres around the outside and 3 centimetres around the inside. And this just has some pretty lines, very similar to a ruler, but you could do your own pattern on there if you wanted. But that's quite easy measurements. And if I find that this one gets damaged, I can just cut myself another one if I wanted to. Oh, actually, what is that size in inches? Does it work out at the same sizes as punches? Maybe, maybe not. So it is 1 5/8, I would say, by 1 and it's inches. It's sort of 1 1/8, but it's a little bit more. not quite as easy a measurement as it is in centimetres, but I'm sure you could get away with a little bit difference in size either way. But anyway, my Advent painting is framed. I have a number highlight. I say somebody else did do a frame where they did it basically to go over the top of the grey, and they placed that over the top when they were done. Just thinking what I might do with this actually is I might laminate it, because then the colour, the inside will be see-through anyway, and that will make it one complete stiff circle. So I think I might pop that through my laminator next time I have that out. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Got a little bit haphazard, but the result is my Advent is done, and I'll speak to you all again soon.